Hello everyone and welcome to the back nine of round 2 at the Portland Open presented by Dynamic Discs. My name's Erika Stinchcomb.
And I'm Madison Walker, and we are the two hot geese.
Honk honk. Welcome back. We are at Glendevere Golf Course, playing it for the second time ever. This event moved from Blue Lake kind of last minute. Thank you to the Pro Tour and Dustin Keegan for designing this course for us. We're all very happy to be able to play this weekend. Catrina Allen able to take the lead in the last hole of the front 9. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. Paige Pierce even for the round. Hailey King struggling towards the end. She's 1 over par for the round, and Jessica Weese 1 under par for the round. Paige and Catrina kind of pulling away. A little bit of a battle for third. Super tough windy conditions out here.
Definitely. Hole 10 is a par 4, 660 feet. You could definitely, again, feel the wind on this tee shot. You want to carry over that flat section and down here into the downhill slope to hopefully have a look at the basket and prevent the blind second shot. There is an out of bounds line going all the way down the right-hand side that can come into play if you throw a roller or if you flip something and let the wind carry it too far.
Katrina's D2 flipping, that's the first time I've really seen the wind kind of mess with her disc. She's had great wind reads and confidence all day. She got decent distance, but she'll be tied up a little bit on that right side.
Yeah, it makes the second shot a little bit more difficult, but she's far enough where she can see the basket and hopefully get those scramble strokes up.
That is a crush by Paige. Huge shot. She'll be able to see the pin, which is a huge advantage. If you don't get far enough, you're kind of just staring at the tops of the trees, kind of unable to gauge exactly where the pin is.
This hole requires 2 absolute max distance shots to get the birdie. It's 550 feet, but I feel like it plays longer. Even with the downhill, it's so difficult to get that second shot into the green. It's super blocked by a bunch of big trees and also a lot of low-hanging branches. So your second shot has to carry pretty far and also get some good ground action.
Jess turned hers over to the right too much. Hailey making the same mistake as she made yesterday, but honestly, it's not that bad over here. You're able to see the pin, and there is this one hyzer gap that you're able to take to get down there, so she'll have a chance for the birdie still. Jess with a slip a little bit.
Yeah, release is a little bit late to the right, but it gets her disc does crazy stuff on the ground.
They really do. Just bounce all around.
So much spin. It's impressive how she can control the angles of the disc while putting so much snap on them.
Yeah, her whole body's like a whip, just getting them out there. And Hailey matching with some really good ground play, getting to, it looks like just outside the circle.
Catrina, 300 feet to the pin, even with that little bit of a right-hand error.
Look at this tiny gap, though.
With the electrical box and everything.
Wow.
She finds the direct center of it, pierces her disc down there, and she'll be inside the circle. She might have to deal with this big tree on a putt, but it looks like she's in the clear.
That was so impressive.
So impressive.
That gap was tiny and low. And
she did exactly what you're supposed to do with a disc on a downhill and just match the nose angle and let the disc do some of the work for you. Paige looks like she had kind of an awkward stance, catches an early tree, and she'll have to settle for par at this point.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of frustration there.
I mean, after you watch Catrina absolutely park the hole from a very difficult stance and you're like a little wide open, I mean, it's tough to
not be mad.
Yeah, well, and just throw those shots that seem like they would be easy.
Oh, yeah. Definitely
not overthink it.
Puts pressure on the simple shots.
That's an easy way to say what I was saying.
It's a much better way to say what you were saying.
Hailey catches the top of the basket, gets a slide. Seems like she's having a hard time gauging where her putter is coming out of her hand. Catrina, I thought, was a little bit closer than that. She still had kind of a tester. She'll also be settling for her par. I thought she was parked.
Yeah, I mean, no, but she was just an in short. Hailey, that was a tester putt for her par.
Only one birdie on the day on this hole. Congrats to Ella Hansen. She was absolutely parked. I watched her on my card. She literally hit the little koozie on the pole. A little surprising not to see some birdies from our lead card ladies on this But
we'll see if they can get this one, though. Hole 11 is a par 3, totally blind shot. You're aiming for this last tree on the right to hyzer out just before it, and then basically just hope you don't land in the bunkers. It's a pretty small landing zone. I mean, you can throw, a little extra straight and give yourself a circle 2 putt, or if you hyzer it too much and land short of the bunker, you can give yourself a circle 2 putt. But really, to get to the pin, you have to challenge the bunkers for the birdie.
Yeah, the best shot is to push into those tree branches while on hyzer and filter out to the left. Catrina does just that, gets tangled up a little bit more than you want, but in order to get all the way to the basket, you do have to push that tree as well.
Yeah, you have to definitely push straighter than feels comfortable. Paige also doing it, also tickling the branches. They're like right next to each other, I think, in circle 2. But it's nice, they'll have a straight forward look at their putt. The bunkers are on either side, so at least they don't have to stare at the bunker as they're trying to putt. This is pretty low from Jess, but actually
Looks
is
great.
amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, she matched that hillside really well. I thought it was too low at first, but that was perfect nose angle control.
Yeah, really challenges that flat surface that you have to carry over before going downhill.
And that's really high from Hailey. She'll probably land short of the bunker. Yeah. Same thing as yesterday. You
Very
can kind
putt
of give
from
it,
there.
yeah, you can give it a run, but it's definitely dangerous.
It's super sharp downhill. You can kind of tell from the camera angle. She opts to just lay up. That's the smart play.
Very smart.
Catrina from circle 2 for her birdie. Oh, just barely short. This is one you want to get in the back 9. This is one of the few that is reachable for an easy 2.
There it is.
Wow.
Paige able to catch up. We've had a fair amount of those lead changes already.
Watch the GK replay. Just nerves of steel. Circle 2 putt.
Bounces in.
Those are the kind of putts you have to make on this course to get that lead. Just from inside the circle, just barely after her great drive. Oh no.
Yeah.
Only 3 birdies on the day for the FPO field. Less than I was expecting, but more than yesterday.
Yeah, that's true.
Congrats to Paige, obviously, and then congrats to Holly Finley and Zoe Andike.
Yeah, Zoe made a big putt. I got to play with her on my card, and it was definitely a pressure putt, so it was fun to watch.
It kind of blows my mind how this hole is so difficult when it feels so in reach.
Nowhere is safe.
I know where it is. Hole 12 is a par 4 at 657 feet. It feels a little longer than that to me. You want to miss this dead tree that we just passed on the right-hand side. There's an out-of-bounds briar patch on the right. If you flip your disc, your second shot's going to carry through that line of big trees. There's a bunch of gaps. You pick the one that works best for you. And I think we'll see a lot of these lead card ladies maybe finding the green on their second shot.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those ones that feels just out of reach for we'll call them your average pro. You can get there, but it takes 2 absolutely perfect drives.
Oh no.
Yeah, Paige pulls it a little right and hits a tree and falls into that briar patch.
She was going for a big distance, it looks like.
Catrina taking the much safer line to the left of this dead tree. It's a little harder. Like, there are those trees where she'll have to find a gap on her second shot. If Paige was successful in her right side play, she would have had a much more open shot.
Yeah, she would have had a hyzer on her second shot that was wide open.
Yeah, classic risk-reward design on the hole, though.
Jess turns it over, gets a cut roller.
Yeah, she's having trouble with that today.
It's hard when you're throwing. She throws such really great touch shots, lots of angle control, lots of spin. And in the wind, that's just such a hard game to play.
Yeah, it's hard to know exactly what the wind is doing at every moment along the fairway.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of flags down the fairways either, so you're just kind of hoping that the wind is the same from where you are to where your disc is landing.
Oh, I love when she throws these Anheuser forehands.
I mean, that was look at all the wind action on it too. That's crazy. That was such a pretty shot from Jess.
Yeah, she'll have maybe a little bit of an awkward stance with that tree right there, but not very much distance left. Maybe 50 feet, 25 feet, something like that.
You could see the wind whipping her hair, though. It was crazy on this fairway, and it was crazy on this
Look at it
green.
right now. Just lifting, elevating, and, whatever, elevatoring. Paige's disc up and down.
I mean, I'm sure those tree branches on that where she hit were not in play in her mind, but when the wind has control.
Yeah, I hit those same ones while elevatoring. And Hailey, throws so far, and she's maybe in circle 2. It looks like she's outside circle 2. So this hole is just really tough, but it was pretty much a straight headwind, which is just the hardest wind to get distance in.
Catrina giving herself a look from circle 2.
Yeah, easy par if nothing else. Catrina playing the hole really kind of smart, I think, and taking out all the danger.
Just leaving her upshot a little short.
Yeah, she didn't get as much ground action on that one as she has in the rest of the round.
Yeah, it just grabbed. Kind of taller grass here. Paige throws her floaty upshot. She'll be in bullseye land.
That was beautiful. Perfectly straight, right at it. Zone from Hailey.
Under the pin.
Works. It.
There is the option to literally land under the basket.
Yeah, because they're on the wood platform.
Yeah. Catrina does not even make a run for it. If anything, maybe a soft bid.
Yeah, par's good on this hole.
I think that's the smartest thing here. I mean, par is good on every hole out here. Like, even par is going to be one of the hot rounds for the day, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that much more than that. I know we saw Ella and who else was 3
It
under?
was Cy.
And Cy at 3 under par, but I mean, going into the back nine, that's a nice cushion,
right,
if anything.
Those are buffer strokes.
Yep.
There are, obviously still some birdies on the back, and the last 2 are birdieable, so it's definitely possible to, get a bunch of pars and occasionally birdie and finish hot on the back, but it's a lot more work than
There
the
was
front.
no birdies on the day on this hole from the FPO field, and that is not surprised with the wind. Hole 13 is an uphill par 3. It's 306 feet, but it plays longer than that. There's this middle gap that you can hit maybe on a flat line or a little bit of an anhyzer. There's also a big hyzer gap, but it puts those big group of trees on the right-hand side into play when it comes to putting.
Yeah, the gap doesn't quite let you throw an anhyzer like you want, and it's pretty hard to get all the way uphill on a perfectly straight shot, so I do like this hyzer play, but you have to get lucky through these trees. And watching it yesterday, everybody got lucky, so I tried the hyzer gap today, and then it hit a tree and rolled back like 80 feet. So those trees are real danger. Don't let them fool you, and just because they miss it.
Yeah.
Like, why is it so easy?
Yeah, let's watch a replay.
Let's watch it slowly and see how easy it is.
I mean,
unbelievable.
I think it's all about just landing still with a lot of spin, with a lot of speed, and Hailey's really good at that.
Yeah, perfect height, perfect spot to land and then skip in. She's parked. That was gorgeous.
Yeah, if you don't get that skip through the trees, there's no putt. There's literally no option. You just kind of have to pitch up to the left of the trees and give yourself a 15-footer.
That looks like Paige's Undertaker. She's just going straight at it, and that is unbelievable.
Oh my!
It is unbelievable.
That's such a hard gap to hit. I know it looks huge, but like you have to meter the angle of your disc so much to get it to miss that big tree on the right that she slides by no problem.
I mean, just throwing something that straight uphill for that long.
It's got to play like 350 or 375 with
easily.
The hill. And I mean, on a rope the whole way. Just on a rope, straight and flat the whole way.
Our lead card just destroying this hole. Go ahead.
Just going for the big hyzer as well. She's going to find those exact trees and maybe not have a look at a putt. Maybe a sharp. Yeah, she's
really tiny little gap. 90 feet left. We'll see if she tries to go around or hit the gap. Yeah, just goes around and leaves herself a little bit short. Catrina hitting that last tree. Not able to get all the way to the pin, but she's close.
I mean, after watching Paige throw or drive under the pin, it puts some pressure on you to make that kind of a putt.
Wow. Great birdie from Hailey. That puts her back to even.
Just right about 15 or 20 feet. Only 3 birdies on the day. We got to watch Hailey We already know what's going to happen with Paige. And
Man, I was nervous.
Congrats to Cat Merch.
Yeah, 2 birdies on that hole on the same card is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Hole 14, super long par 5. They closed the teeing area to the left, so now you have to go either from the tee or like to the right, but there's low-hanging branches off the drive, and then after that, there's really no trouble at all until you get to the green here. Little trees that block you, and then an OB golf green, pretty close, like maybe 10-15 feet from the basket on the right. This is a straight headwind. It is so hard to get the distance to go almost 1,000 feet. And Hailey, with that same Zeus that she threw on 1 and 6 into kind of head crosswinds, she has that just dialed. She gets way down there.
Yeah, she's really trusting it because it was such a stiff headwind. Like, I mean, it could almost flip anything if you showed the angle enough. You want to keep it low too because, I mean, even you can see it grabbing Paige's disc and just forcing it over. You want to keep it low too because those branches that are right off the tee pad will definitely come into play if your disc elevators at all. And I know that can happen a lot out here.
I mean, it happened to 3 of us on my card. Like, I watched 2 other women do it where, you know, maybe the nose was just exposed a tiny bit and it just lifted straight into the branches.
Catrina is going to funnel over to the left-hand side of the fairway. Definitely a common occurrence as well with this wind, but she still gets way down there.
Yeah, she won't have a problem from there.
Also, that left side makes it a lot easier for some reason with the angle of the wind. That left side made it easier to get your disc further down there. When you're on this right side, it's still a screaming headwind right into your face. We'll see if Paige can make the correction.
She gets some more air under it, which allows it to hyzer out this time. Yeah, big distance it looks like from Paige.
This is one when there's no headwind that is definitely birdieable by the big arms in the game. In the headwind, it's definitely more of a tester. We'll see what happens. Jess getting way down there. That was a smash.
She got the angle just right this time. That was beautiful. Full flight.
Hailey, gets affected by the wind. It turns her over. Oh, no. What even is that? I guess there's a bush over there.
Disaster.
Oh, my God. That looks brutal.
It looks dense. Yeah, I mean, she's in bounds. She's not over the fence or anything, but she's really far down, so if she can get even, you know, a couple 200 feet out of there, she'll be fine for her par.
Yep. Just her approach shot will have to be her 3rd shot instead of her 4th.
Yeah.
Catrina, on the left-hand side, had almost no wind to deal with, and she absolutely crushes, keeps the disc low. The wind doesn't affect it at all.
Yeah, that was a mash from Catrina.
Hailey will definitely be able to get up and down for her par after that very tricky shot from the mystery bush down the fairway.
Wow. Inside the circle, just go Zeus, 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 27 feet away.
Jess opting for the sidearm for her approach to the green, really trusting that disc, putting it way right.
Cool to watch her go sidearm, backhand, sidearm. Super comfortable just switching between a variety of shots. She's always impressed me with her shot selection.
Definitely.
And confidence.
Catrina coming in kind of a higher hyzer angle. You don't want to push much further than that because of how close that out of bounds green is to the basket. I mean, it's 10 or 12 feet.
Yeah, that was well done. Hailey with 265 feet left, going kind of right side, trying to skip it in past these trees, and leaves it pretty short.
A common mistake on this hole with that scary green.
I think she'll have a low ceiling too for her par save putt. And this, is that for her 4? So
Yes.
she's dropping in for 5.
Yep.
Well played.
It really shows how impressive Catrina's shot to the green was.
Absolutely.
I mean,
well, Paige's too.
yeah.
Yeah, well, you see Hailey smile. What was that?
Anything could have happened there.
Wild shot. Wow.
Yes. Nerves of steel.
Amazing birdie.
Again, a hole that not very many people are birdieing in the FPO field. We have the 2 at the top battling.
Oh, yeah, Catrina answers.
Both with not easy, not gimme putts.
No.
And they are, again, the only birdies on the day.
God, I mean, that's kind of why they're a league of their own. Not copyrighted. Like they're...
Sorry, Gkpro.
Yeah,
that might cost $10.
But for real, they are showing why they've been so dominant.
I walk up to the tee, I have these game plans. I know where I want to land. I know the distance to the basket from those positions. I think I'm going to land in these same areas every single time, but you never know. I know how far I am. I know the height now. Having the Bushnell Range Finder, no matter where I land, gives me that extra level of confidence.
Moving on to hole 15, 324 feet. It's a par 3. It's one of the shortest holes we play all day, but for some reason it's still pretty tough. You have to carry this tall grass all the way to this pin perched on a little anthill with rolls to OBs in all directions. There's a green that's out of bounds behind it. It doesn't really come into play unless you really get a hold of something. There's some low-hanging branches you have to contend with off the tee. Paige keeps her drive low and linear, no problem.
Oh, and absolutely parks it. Makes it look really easy. Again, plays uphill. It's like weirdly hard to get over this field. It shouldn't be.
Katrina bails out to the right. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. Oh, no.
It's too low.
It's a little shorter over there.
Yeah,
so it is. Smart play.
The left side wraps around, and if you hyzer out, it's way easier to find danger on the left than the right. But that was way too low from Katrina, and she'll have to proceed to the drop zone.
Jess really trusting that disc to carry straight for a while.
Beautiful. I don't think she rolled. She looks like she's maybe 15-ish feet away.
Yeah. It's a weird putt from there. It's so steeply uphill.
And this is, I think, how you draw it up in your head. Just throw it out to the right, let it carry, flash the basket.
Hopefully not roll back down the other side.
Yeah, let's see that again.
I thought that was going in.
I did too.
With the big skip. God, she's coming in hot.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So close.
She sits pretty close, though.
Yep.
A little bit of a tester. We've seen some rollaways on this hole before, so you do have to be careful on your putt.
Katrina kind of floats this, making me nervous, but it grabs. So we watch Hailey and we watch Paige make it look so easy when there's actually 70% of the field with a bogey or worse. So, I mean, it's, for whatever reason, it is just not easy to get to.
Yeah. Jess does a really great job. She puts herself back under par for the round. Katrina at least minimizing the damage with a bogey there.
What a great putt from Jess. Wow. Uphill. The wind was not as prominent on these last few holes. Hailey with a birdie as well. Paige with a tap in. So we get to watch 3 birdies on the lead card, and there was only 4 on the day. Congrats to Ella Hansen on getting the 4th. It was awesome to watch.
Hole 16 has this giant tree to contend with off the tee. There is an OB green to the right, I believe. A lot of people are going to go low under the tree with a hyzer. There's a hill that you have to kind of skip on the hill and then try to carry as it descends to land near the elevated pin. It's pretty tricky, and you do have to get through these trees as well. So this looks really good from Paige, but that's kind of why you want to land on top of the hill and then skip rather than get all the way down to the green in the air. So she leaves herself in a circle 2 look.
It is nice to be down at the flat, though, because putting from on top of that hill is not fun.
I love this play from Jess. I think the left side is so much safer.
Wow.
And almost skips over. That'll be decision time just outside the circle for a birdie putt.
I really love that play from Jess. That's something that I hadn't even considered is that side. You have to have a long forehand to get there. Hailey, even with the forehand option that we know she all has, still opts for the hyzer, gets through all the trees.
Yeah, gets a little lucky. Or just, so much spin that she just buzzes through all the branches and gets to the edge of the circle.
Catrina with a textbook shot. It looks great.
Great height. Gets a little unlucky on that tree, it looks like.
She'll have a long putt, another decision to make. It slopes downhill from left to right from where Catrina is, so it'll be a scary putt.
Just putting downhill at the elevated basket.
Oh, soft bid?
Yeah. Long putt. At least it's uphill, so Paige can run it a lot more confidently. And good effort. Catrina's, man, if it didn't hit that tree, I think she would have skipped right up to it. She had the right angle and the height, everything.
Looks like she's still running at it softly, even with it being downhill. Leaves it a little short, but that's okay. Easy par. Hailey also giving it a soft bid, catches the cage low. Only one birdie on the day from the FPO field. A little surprised not to see any on the lead card. Congrats to Sai and Anda. She was finding the birdies out here today.
Everybody just tapping in their pars.
I think this is a really cool hole, even though you can just see how challenging it is, but it's definitely gettable by almost anyone in the field with the right shot off the tee. But I think this is one of my favorite holes on the course.
Yeah, I definitely like the decision that you have to make off the tee.
And again on the green.
I guess, yeah, it is a lot of decision making.
Hole 17, another one of my favorite holes on the course, just because of the pretty factor. I mean, you have to shoot through this big line of trees. There's a few different gaps you can choose between, and we'll see a lot of people throwing the hyzer. Yesterday, we saw Paige and Hailey getting all the way down to have a putt. This green is super blocked by a bunch of big trees, so it's kind of just hoping when you get down there, if you're trying to get there on the drive. For most of us average Joes.
The left side definitely has more gaps when you get to the bottom to get to the pin than the right side. Paige lands short, but distance-wise, it's kind of a tweener hole. Difficulty-wise, with the technicality of the trees, I don't know. A lot of people are calling it a gimme birdie, but I don't think that's true. You have to hit a gap off the tee and on your approach. So I don't know. I like it.
I agree. It's a low ceiling gap too. With the wind, that's always a little touchy. Y'all have seen the discs elevator up and down nonstop. Jess makes it look easy. Gets so far down there. I was so impressed with Paige and Hailey yesterday, and look at Jay Weese doing the same thing, giving herself a putt.
She's having a really clean round, like kind of quiet, a lot of pars, getting her birdies when she can, minimal mistakes. I mean, she's one down for the round.
And that's going to be one of the hot scores out here today.
Absolutely.
Hailey early releases, but still gets through all the trees, gets pretty lucky. She'll have an approach to the green.
And this looks pretty good.
Here's the gap.
Yeah.
Sends it super straight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
This looks really good.
That looks great.
Circle, too. I was worried for a sec she might hit a branch or something, but that was absolutely picture perfect.
So Paige in that first line of trees where she caught early, she has 270 feet to the pin, hoping to find a gap. She takes that left-hand side that Erika talks about. Wow.
And hyzers it in. I wonder if that was one of her crystal fierces. That was
perfect.
Lovely.
Yep. It's nice. There's the slope of the ground on the green is uphill, so you can kind of chuck something and use it as a backboard.
Yeah, you can really throw it hard and trust that it'll just sit right there. Hailey's got caught on a tree, but she's still inside the circle.
Jess with a great approach. Absolutely. Catrina for her birdie. Eagle. Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
You don't say that very much.
Yeah. Man, I want one person to eagle this, before the tournament's over.
If we have calmer conditions in the next round, I think it'll happen. I think people have dialed it in enough. Great birdies.
Yeah, and I mean, this is why everybody calls it kind of that tweener. Like, they do make it look easy. Even hitting Hailey and Paige hitting early, still able to convert. But, I mean, it's
for par.
You're right. She missed that putt.
But and the tap in birdie from Catrina. There were a lot more birdies on the day from this whole 37% of the field. Love that for the FPO.
Rounding it out with a final par 5, a little shorter than the others, 867 feet. The fence line on the right is OB, but not super in play. You're just trying to push it out here. It's a pretty good kind of tailwind at this point, so a little bit easier to make forward progress. You're going up this hill to land on this golf green in an elevated pin. The sidewalk on the left does start to pinch in, and there is a mandatory tree. It's like the first big tree on the left as you start to go up the hill.
We're going to see most of the lead card women just throwing as far as they can on this shot. We might see a roller from Catrina as well. Paige gets way down there, puts it out more to the left than I would expect, but it sets her up for a hyzer.
I think it's the tailwind, because you're trying to throw, an anhyzer, and the tailwind really stables the disc out. I think Jess's style of throw is going to be perfect for this kind of a wind. She gets that full flight out of it. I mean, she's still actually a little left side too, but it's not a bad place to be. You just need to land in the center on your next shot.
And being on that left-hand side, I think it does make the second shot a little bit easier.
It makes it a hyzer.
Yeah.
So most people like those.
Catrina opting for the roller. Looks like the grass was kind of tall maybe where she first landed. It slowed it down a little bit, but it's still way down there.
Yeah, and yesterday we saw her at, 460 feet.
Didn't slow her down that much.
Yeah, yesterday she landed in a similar spot, but was really pushed up against the fence, and then she went roller a second time. So I'm curious if that'll still be her play. Most likely. I mean, she can get up that hill for an eagle, I bet, with that distance that she's getting on her rollers.
Hailey looks like she just had the classic, I'm going to throw it as hard as I can mistake that turns it over, really trying to fight the tailwind. But with her distance, she'll still be able to get up and down for a birdie.
Yeah, she'll be kind of pinched here, and we'll have to throw a pretty sharp hyzer up the hill. So
lots of branches to contend with.
Yeah,
too.
She can still birdie it. It's just going to be really hard. This is gorgeous from Jess.
Absolutely perfect. Center cut. She'll be able to see the pin just directly uphill. The tricky part about that shot is you do have to push forward from the top of where the hill crests onto the green. It's still another, I would say, 80 or 100 feet.
Yeah, it's tricky because you're throwing up the hill, exposing that kind of nose-up angle. Paige gets way up there.
She's finding herself partway up the hill. She'll have kind of a weird run up. She might even throw a standstill.
Yeah, I mean, she's, like you said, 100 feet from the pin. Roller?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, man, I want this to get up there. It hits whatever that root or thing is.
And turned over, too.
Yeah, she'll have those trees to contend with now.
Hailey using the airspace above the branches and just making it look so easy.
Yeah, I think that's her Raptor, and that is difficult. Trust us. I've tried to do the same thing 2 days in a row, and I've hit the branches. It's really hard to throw that high and progress that far forward. Also, beautifully done.
Yeah, great 3 shots in a row from Jess. Wow. It looks like she threw a slow disc to get up there, let it land softly on that quick green. This is one of the few places that you'll see us playing with a basket on a golf green. It's a whole different game. You just want to really make sure you land with no spin.
Everybody getting pretty close for their birdie looks.
A little windy up top. No problem. There we go.
That's to finish even on the round. You can tell she struggled a little bit today, but no harm done. The course is playing about 5 strokes harder, I'd say, than it did yesterday, based on how the ratings and everything panned out. I'm trying to remember what the hot round was today.
I think it was 3 down.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Maybe
as opposed
4
to
down.
9.
I'll check the leaderboard here in a minute. Oh no! Looks like maybe Catrina let the nerves get to her a little bit on the last hole.
Oh no! Oh, you hate to see it. Birdogey. Putting her 4 strokes behind Paige going into the final day.
Man.
Yeah, ouch. Sucks because you have to go home and then think about that.
Yeah, and I mean, on an elevated basket on the final hole, when you're watching everyone else tapping their birdies, I mean, Hailey just made a huge putt for her birdie too. It's easy to let that get to you a little bit. But we know how much she can do, and we still have another day on this course.
Yeah.
So can't count anyone out yet. Paige with a 4-stroke lead. Hailey still hanging on with just 4 behind Catrina, and just 4 behind there.
Yeah, just had a great round, being 3 down for the round. Ella Hansen killing it. She was 6 down. No, I'm sorry. She's 5 down today. And so was Paige. Wow, that was kind of quiet at the end.
It was.
She got like 5 or 6 towards the end.
Got those last few. Even though the front of the round was a little bit hectic, she held on, and as a true competitor does.
Started to pull away too. Well, thank you so much for joining us for round 2, final round tomorrow. Please join us again and see how this wraps up. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
And I'm Madison Walker. Thanks to Gkpro for the awesome coverage of the ladies, and we'll see you guys for the final round battle.
Honk.